Mary Catherine Ham, Brian Wilson, Brian Neiman, today's newsmakers, and you, the Morning Majority. 105.9 FM, AM 630. WMAL.
6:37. This story outrages me. It's just spoken to me since the first day I heard of it, and today is a big day in the life of one Mark Grapin. Now, let me give you the story. Mark is an Army aviation specialist from Virginia. He's going off to Iraq to serve the nation, and he tells his 9 and 11-year-old boys that, you know what, when I come back, guys, we're going to build that treehouse we've always talked about. And so he comes back, and he gets ready to build the treehouse, and he actually calls the Fairfax County building office and asks if it's okay if I do this, what kind of permits do I need? And he gets permission to sort of the green light to go ahead, and he does. And he builds over the course of several weeks with his boys a really nice treehouse. However, somebody in the neighborhood narked on him. Somebody picked up the phone to the Planning and Zoning Board in Fairfax County and complained and says this is in violation of the planning and zoning laws. And it turns out that apparently he lives on a corner lot, and in Fairfax County, if you have a corner lot, they consider both the sides of the house on the corner to be your front yard, and apparently they say you can't build a treehouse in your front yard. They told him he has to tear it down. He's fighting the good fight. He's taking it tonight to the Planning and Zoning Board, and Mark Grapin is now on the line with us to talk about how this thing has gone. Did I sort of get that right, Mark?
You hit it spot on.
All right, so...
Except the hearing's this morning, right?
It's actually this morning.
Oh, excuse me, I didn't know.
As much as a 9 p.m. show would probably garner more people in the audience, it's 9 a.m.
Oh, excuse me, I apologize for that mistake. But, so, now, since we talked to you last, you've gotten a lot of support.
That's a gross understatement.
Tell us about it.
Well, first of all, I understand why Colin Powell did not run for the presidency. I just... The support has been overwhelmingly great, but there's some very dark things that are out there on the Internet. People make comments, very, very hateful things.
Really?
And I'll invite you to do your own searches. But the caliber of service, what you do for a living, even the ethnicity of your children is called into question.
Oh my God!
By some very dark people. Now, I start with the bad because I just want to leave it behind me. The good has been overwhelming. First of all, counsel is involved now. Reed Smith is a great worldwide firm with a local office. They've stepped up and said, what can we do to help?
All right.
I love that.
I had a local landscaper lives just a couple blocks away from me. Not a plug, but you got to hand it to a guy that owns his own business, Steve Simpson. Tapped Merrifield Gardens and said, let's put some concealment shrubbery around this guy's treehouse, knock down some of these objections, and the list goes on. But the least of which, I want to make sure that I keep this in perspective. The most touching of all of this is a guy that I've never met out in Oregon, Cameron Dunbar Yamaguchi, and I really hope I didn't butcher the name. Is a fellow service member, as a sergeant out there in Oregon. Saw the story, and then through change.org started a petition process whereby every time you sign this petition, an email letter goes to the board.
I love that.
So of the 1,600-ish emails that they've received with this letter, about a third of those are actually immediate neighbors here in Fairfax, and I find that all very, very touching. It's nice to know that neighborhoods indeed have neighbors.
Yeah.
Do you think you're going to win?
Gosh, that's a little presumptuous. If I were to place a bet, it'd be a very hesitant bet. I'm cautiously optimistic. We were asked to come back to the table now and describe what has changed. Well, there's some slices of law in the way the Virginia Supreme Court has issued its guidance that gives boards such as this more flexibility than we may have suspected at the onset. And so because we have a fuller understanding of the law, and indeed the law it gives them an awful lot of flexibility to live within the spirit of the law, I feel better about our chances than I did at our last meeting.
You mentioned the fact that you had some landscaping done to maybe kind of hide the treehouse. Is that
right.
something that the board wanted you to do? Is that something that would actually help them say, okay, because you can't see it from the street, then we may be able to okay it?
You know, we watched that tape. 100 times if we watched it once. And you try to pick up on the language. The board currently, right now, does not have a mechanism to impose conditions, such as time, or I want it repainted, or I want it lowered 8 inches, or they don't have that mechanism. It's just not in the code. And so we're asking the board to kind of stick it out there a little bit and impose the conditions they think would be necessary for it to fit the spirit of the law. So it's an unusual condition for them. One of the things that was intimated by a couple of the board members who voted both for and against the treehouse was is concealment possible in some mechanism. And I thought, you got to pick up on druthers and desires to try to help these people make a favorable decision for you, and that's one of the things we went with.
Because the hearing is at 9 a.m., are you able to have some folks there to support you? Obviously, a nighttime meeting would be more easy for people to get to.
Oh, sure it would, but you got to go with what the program is. There's going to be quite a few people. As a matter of fact, my mother-in-law from California flew out.
Right.
Wow.
So she'll be out there waving the banner and probably doing the fist pumping out there. But there'll be also quite a few people that I work with. Quite a few people from the neighborhood. Tom and Adele Knott from right across the street probably will come out again. I don't take any of it for granted. Anybody that can take a little bit of time to come out is you have my undying appreciation.
All right. Well, great to have you on. We wish you best of luck this morning, and hopefully you're going to have that treehouse up for as long as you live there.
We want an update tomorrow, okay?
Well, between that, and I got to tell you, let me for Mary Catherine, I understand the long haul marathon endurance contest that you ran just a couple weeks ago, and certainly appreciate it. Congratulations on that.
Thank you very much, and I wish you the best luck, as much luck as I had on Kilimanjaro.
There you go.
Listen, we'll get a call to you anyway and give you an update.
We're pulling for you.
Thank you, Mark.
Very much.
Appreciate